In an interview with the New York Times, JD Vance is asked 5 separate times if Donald Trump lost the 2020 election. And he avoids the question each and every time, except for the final time, where he finally answers what he would have done if he were the vice president on January 6th. Let's just watch and we'll talk about it after.
In the debate, you were asked to clarify if you believe Trump lost the 2020 election. Do you believe he lost the 2020 election?
I think that Donald Trump and I have both raised a number of issues with the 2020 election, but we're focused on the future. I think there's an obsession here with focusing on 2020. I'm much more worried about what happened after 2020, which is a wide open border, groceries that are unaffordable. And look,
Senator,
Lulu,
yes or no?
okay,
Did Donald Trump lose the 2020 election?
let me ask you a question. Is it okay that big technology companies censored the Hunter Biden laptop story, which independent analysis have said cost Donald Trump millions of votes?
Senator Vance, I'm going to ask you again. Did Donald Trump lose the 2020 election?
Did big technology companies censor a story that independent studies have suggested would have cost Trump millions of votes? I think
Senator
that's the
Vance,
question.
I'm going to ask you again. Did Donald Trump lose the
And
2020
I've answered
election?
your question with another question. You answer my question and I'll answer yours.
I have asked this question repeatedly. It is something that is very important for the American people to know. There is no proof, legal or otherwise, that Donald Trump did not lose the 2020 election.
You're repeating a slogan rather than engaging with what I'm saying, which is that when our own technology firms engage in industrial scale censorship, by the way, backed up by the federal government, in a way that independent studies suggest affect the votes, I'm worried about Americans who feel like there were problems in 2020. I'm not worried about this slogan that people throw. Well, every court case went this way. I'm talking about something very discrete, a problem of censorship in this country that I do think affected things in 2020, and more importantly, that led to Kamala Harris's governance, which has screwed this country up in a big way.
Senator, would you have certified the election in 2020? Yes or no?
I've said that I would have voted against certification because of the concern that I just raised. I think that when you have technology companies,
The answer is no.
when you have technology,
I'm just going to say it's really rich that JD Vance said that the left is censoring, because the Trump campaign literally worked with Elon Musk's X to suppress hacked info that came out about the campaign. The Trump campaign connected with social media platform X, owned by billionaire MAGA supporter Elon Musk, to suppress links to a journalist newsletter that contained a linked dossier allegedly stolen from the campaign when Iran reportedly hacked it. The September newsletter published by journalist Ken Klippenstein included a dossier on former President Donald Trump's running mate, Senator J.D. Vance, which Klippenstein was sent by an unknown source who claimed it had been acquired in a hack of the Trump campaign. Other news outlets said they also obtained some hacked information, but chose not to publish it. It's really funny that they won't publish this, but they would publish Hillary's emails. Okay, so when that happened, X blocked users from posting the link to Klippenstein's newsletter and suspended Klippenstein from the platform. And at the time, X stated that Klippenstein's suspension was due to the release of unredacted private personal information, but never clarified why the links were being blocked. So Donald Trump was working in coordination with Elon Musk and X to do the exact thing that he and JD Vance accuse. I don't know the Twitter and Facebook of doing, I guess, in coordination with the government that Trump was running at the time. None of it makes sense. But secondly, it's so damning that JD Vance would not like if Mike Pence wouldn't have certified the election on January 6, 2021, it would have created a constitutional crisis. It truly would have been a coup. And JD Vance is admitting here that he would have engaged in a coup. He would have allowed the insurrection to be successful. There were two different insurrections happening simultaneously. There was the mob in January 6th that stormed the Capitol, and then there was also the legal coup that was underway, where they were trying to find any and every legal measure to try to overturn a free and fair election. And their last hope was Mike Pence saying, I can't certify this, and handing it back to the states when Mike Pence did not have that power. But they all know this. They know this. I'm sure you all know Scott Jennings on CNN. He's the right-wing a-hole who lies nonstop to spread information to CNN's mainstream audience. Well, this unearthed footage just came out, just so happened, just came out, where Scott Jennings said that Donald Trump, he was too scared for Donald Trump to remain as president for the final 2 weeks of his presidency.
Scott, should President Trump remain in office for the next 2 weeks?
Well, I've been wrestling with this question all day. I mean, he's clearly violated his oath of office to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution to the best of my ability. And no one could, with a straight face, argue that he is preserving, protecting, or defending it. In fact, it's the opposite of defending it. It's under attack. And so he's certainly not doing any of that to the best of his ability. So if you wanted to strictly look at his oath, he's violated it. You could probably make an argument he violated it this weekend when he called the Georgia Secretary of State as well, which seems like a lifetime ago. I don't know the answer. I know that there are things being discussed. I don't know what the right thing to do is. Tonight, he doesn't seem like, to me, based on the tweets that were removed, that he learned any lesson after this got out of hand today. This is what you get when you steal an election. He didn't learn anything when this happened today. And so if that's going to be his attitude for the next 2 weeks, I'm very fearful of what other insurrection-type activities. And that's exactly what it was. It was an insurrection. And it should be labeled as such. I can't believe more people haven't been arrested for storming the Capitol of the United States. And I can't frankly believe there are still Republicans tonight siding with the people who stormed the Capitol by voting for these objections, siding with the people who are wearing animal pelts and horns and scaling down the walls of the U.S. Senate. It's absurd, and it's a stain on this president, on our party, on our country. And I cannot believe what I saw on my television today and had to explain to my children at home.
But that's the thing with these folks. They know who Donald Trump is, and they don't care. They don't care. They know who he is, but they'd rather get attention, power, money than help defend our democracy from someone who does not deserve or belong anywhere near power. But thankfully, the people are on our side. I'm going to end with this. Here are actual Pennsylvania voters, people you would not expect, saying they're for Kamala. So I hope you like the video. If you like this video, hit like in the video, hit a blue heart, leave a blue heart so I know that you watched till the end, and I'll see you next time.
I would vote for my dog before I voted for Donald Trump.
Can I ask you who you're voting for this year?
Voting for what?
For president. Can I ask you who you're voting for in this election?
Phillies?
Trump or Kamala?
Kamala, because anti-Trump.
Can I ask any of you guys who you're voting for in the election?
Kamala, baby, let's go. Oh, come on. Now, we don't do this. Go back to Philly, bro. This is New York.
No Phillies fans. Haven't found any Phillies fans yet. Can I ask any of you guys who you're voting for?
Voting for?
In the election.
The election?
Who are you voting for?
You're a Philly fan. Get the f*** out of here, brother. Who do you think you are?
Oh, no. Can I ask you who you're voting for? Oh, man. Oh, Jesus. Can I ask you guys who you're voting for in this election?
The New York Mets, baby, that's who.
You voting for Trump or Kamala? Kamala. Can I ask you guys who you're voting for this year?
Grimace.
Grimace?
Yes, sir.
I'm hoping you get a new pair of shoes, bro.
Look at that footwear, dude.
Roasted.
Can I ask you who you're voting for?
Grimace. Let's go f***ing Mets, baby.
I think that's our third vote for Grimace, you guys. Can I ask you who you're voting for in the election?
Kamala.
Can I ask you guys who you're voting for in the election?
I'm voting for Kamala Harris
Why are you voting for Kamala?
because I love her.
Who are you voting for this year?
Voting for an election?
Yeah.
Yeah, Trump. Who the hell? I don't think there's a person in this parking lot that's not voting for Trump.
Can I ask you who you're voting for in this election?
Kamala Harris.
Why Kamala Harris?
Because anything is better than Trump.
Why do you think so many Mets fans around here love Trump so much?
I have no idea.
He's the man, that's why.
Who are you voting for?
Today,
Trump.
you know what the man did? While we were all dying for COVID, he sent COVID tests to Putin. Good luck, everybody.
Can I ask you who you're voting for in this election?
Harris.
Why Harris?
Because Trump is awful. Just not a fan.
Can I ask you who you're voting for?
I haven't decided.
Live reporting live. We've got an undecided voter.
Actually, I'm a Jersey voter.
We've got a Jersey voter here. Not as important, guys. We're moving on. Thank you so much. Who are you voting for in this election?
Harris.
Why Harris?
Gotta save our country.
We need a woman in the White House.
I think it's time.
It's time for a woman.
I don't know what's wrong with you young people. You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?